Hi everyone, here I am again with a series of videos of archaeological sites. And this time, even though it may look like Sardinia or central Italy, we are actually in Greece. We are in the region of Argos on the Peloponnese, and here we have our first site. This is the Heraion near Argos. You can clearly see some Greek stuff. These are clearly huge columns. There's a retaining wall, very nicely squared, beautifully preserved. But as we will see, there's other stuff of interest. Anyway, these are already really massive blocks. Vicino, just to show the comparison with the human. I mean, the other day I had to move the base, the granite base of a sunscreen, one of those, and it's not really a sunscreen. I don't know how to call them in English. It's like a big umbrella to screen yourself from the sun. And it was probably, I would say, 40 by 40 by 10 centimeters. And I really had a hard time, and here are blocks which are huge compared to what I moved. This block is 50 times what I moved. So, well, it's always my thought about moving all these stones. Of course, they were not alone. It was not one person, it was more than one. But still, it's not an easy task. We will see more interesting stuff, more upstairs. It's like a series of terraces. You can see we are on the first one. There's another one over there, and we will see further on others. It's weird because this seems to be some limestone. This is at least, look, there's my leg. So I'm at least, it's at least 1 meter high. But this is sandstone, another type of rock. So again, we have even a mixture of different stones. There's another terrace here. The place is called, as I said, Heraion. It's supposed to have been a sanctuary to the goddess Hera, built by the Argolites, or people from Argos. But there's more upstairs, as you will see. Deborah makes me notice this one stone, which has a little indentation, or little, it's not that little, but then this one is quite interesting. Not many of these kind of puzzle type joints, but a few are there. Here we have another wall, which is at least 4 to 5 meters high, leaning on the bedrock. There's another platform over there, and we start to see a third platform on top, but we will get closer now. The site is officially dated the 8th century BC, so almost 3,000 years ago. But even officially they say that people were living here before that. So just to show you the size of these blocks, that's Deborah. When she opens her arms, it's about 1.60 meters, so that single block boulder is at least, more than 2 meters. Just a few of them, those are huge as well. So it's an unknown site, it's free, we just got here. It still has opening hours, there was a guy at the entrance, but he said it's free. Nobody knows it, or few knows it. I only actually have to give credit to Megalithemania channel that I got to know this site. Hugh Newman came to visit it some years ago, And since I came in Greece to do this tour, that was one of the sites I wanted to visit. And I have to say it's really worth it. It's really, everything is huge. And we start to see what actually I came here for, which is the third platform. But we'll get there now. Let's go around here, another series of huge blocks. Beautiful view of the plain here in Argos. And it's nice because by going up one terrace after the other, you get to see better the ones below. That's where we were before, with the columns. And here, yeah, it's just all megalithic. And we see even better now the third terrace. There's a few details, like here you can see there's an engraving, there's a few nubs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here further on. Here more, here there's more. There's a nicely cut piece of, well, I'd say limestone. Well, it could even be something harder. It's a mixture of different types of stone. Again, here we have this type of limestone. There's a very nicely engraved stone here. Actually, all of these, even with the T-joints. There's a T-joint here, still standing originally with the original metal. That one is gone missing. These T-joints also are found all over the place, all over the world actually. These look like little tubs, bath tubs or something. And in the background, these huge blocks. Rounded blocks, rough cut, and not nicely cut, but huge, really huge. Look at that. You can see Deborah on top now, just to give a sense of scale, how big they are. So the story goes officially that the Argolites were kind of jealous of the Mycenaean, which is not far from here, Mycenae, about a couple of kilometers or something. And so they built this terrace with blocks even bigger than the ones used by the Mycenaean. Look at this stuff. Look at this block. I mean, this is, I'd guess something like 40 tons, maybe 30, okay, maybe 20, but still no, more than 20. I mean, it's taller than Deborah is tall. Stai in piedi un attimo. Stai in piedi. It's taller than her. And it's a lot wider than her. And I have no idea how deep it is, but I'll soon get to see it. See. Now she's coming down, just to give you a sense of scale of these blocks, because it's really hard otherwise. I mean, it's huge. And yeah, according to official theory, they were not taken from far away, they were taken from 50 meters away from this place. But still, try to move that block. I mean, she's insignificant compared to them, at least in size, of course. She's very significant to me. And anyway, here's the whole wall going on. It's, if I remember the data correctly, it's 56 meters wide by 34 meters deep. Now we'll get on top. So it's not my usual way of proceeding, but anyway, in this case, I believe it makes sense to give you a comparison. So I will turn the head, flip the head of the camera, put myself in front of this block of stone. And down there you see the other one. And you can see the size of this one. And this is not the biggest one. Now we get on top of the platform. And this is the one that Deborah was standing on before. I mean, you cannot even see how deep it is because it's covered by other stones. And here we have a beautiful platform. Actually covered herself too. And this is still the same block. So this block starts here. I can measure. So it's 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, more than 4 meters wide, certainly more. We saw before more than 1.60 meters high, and I don't know how deep, so it's huge. And here we have again, it's been covered with another type of stone. I believe this is again limestone, whereas the big blocks are sandstone. We have from here a beautiful view. Again, a huge block. I can measure it just to give you a sense of scale. So on this side it's 1, 2, 3, 4 meters. It's kind of triangularly shaped. And on the smaller side it's 1, 2, 3 meters. So we have got something like 3 by 4, and now let me go down to see how thick it is, just to give an estimate of the weight. It's not very thick, this one. You see it's there right behind that olive tree. I would guess around, let's say 70 centimeters. So I do a quick calculation and I'll be back. So we have this block, which is even a lot thicker than that one, and hard to say how deep it goes, but anyway, that one, by a rough calculation, even dividing the weight that I got to by 2 would be 5 tons. And that's really a very, very rough estimate. Okay, remind you that I'm 2 meters tall, actually 192, but with hat and shoes it's gonna be 2 meters. This is just one of the blocks. It's not a very big one compared to the other ones. If we turn around this corner, we have this little part which is slightly polygonal. You can see there's some junctions here, some joints, which are more of a polygonal kind. And it's weird because on the right hand side we still have sandstone, then this small part with polygonal characteristics, which is limestone, and then further on we have again sandstone. And yeah, another polygonal joint here. And if you can see, it's quite, yeah. So it's, again, I almost get the feeling that this place has been sometime repaired. You see here, there's even this strange border here, and the stone actually starts here and then it comes, starts here and then it comes forward and then goes down. So the impression again is of a site which has been used and reused by many cultures for many generations, and each time a new culture would just add what they needed to it. But on top of it all, we have the huge megalithic platform. So here is another piece of wall with, it's a squared wall but with huge stones, and that's the platform over there. And there's another part of a wall here. So again, my question is, of course we would give in the past a lot more importance to religiosity and spirituality and gods and all these things, but this is huge work to make a place for a god, of course. We have been doing that up to the 15th century, if you think at the big cathedrals. Even later, nowadays, my consideration is if you look in the modern world, buildings that make use of a lot of stone, and usually it's just like covered with stone. It's not blocks of stone, but anyway, it's the use of stone. We usually do that for only one god, which is money, because banks usually have the most decorated and stone elaborated buildings. But yeah, we have not built stuff like this in quite a while. Not too long, but quite a while. And anyway, even the most recent cathedrals, which are amazing, we have to recognize that, they would not be made with blocks that weigh 10 tons or even more. So just a few more observations here in this area, just beneath the big retaining wall, megalithic wall. We were noticing here in this small tub or whatever it is that there's a T-junction here, still with the metal in it. There's another one there with no metal in it. And the question was, what were these things? Because there's quite some other little engravings here, square engravings you can see. So what I noticed here, going further on, I mean, we believe today that this was the original plan, right? That's what you would think. Then we see there's another engraving here for a T-junction. But there's another here, and there's not the continuation here. There's not the other part here. There should be, as we just saw over there, there should be another T here, but there's none. So, unless it was put together by archaeologists when they like restore the site, it may even have been, but I don't believe they would do it, otherwise they would do it with all those blocks over there, right? So just put the blocks here just to give a sense of what it must have looked like. I don't know, it might be, but it also might be that these blocks were even before the culture who built this kind of stairway here, and they were just recycled from previous plans in utilization. They were found like this, and they said, okay, that could be a nice step, so let's just use it for that. I mean, I don't know, I haven't studied exactly the thing. All the research has been done on this site and who took it out. I think Schliemann worked on it as well, the discoverer of Troy. But still, I have seen these things before, where blocks of stone were reused by later culture who colonized the site. And these blocks here don't really make sense. You see, you walk here, then there's another step going up, and then there's another piece here with a partly engraved little tub. There's another one here. There's even a hole here. Deborah made me notice. Can go through here. Yeah, right. A perfectly round stone, or a hole. Really nicely done. So we've been here before anyway. I didn't notice, but Deborah noticed it. There's some really nice engravings here. You see, it's been sculpted really nicely. There's more of these knobs here on this stone here. Yeah, you see, down here as well, a nice Greek decorations. So, of course, the Greeks were here, but as usual, we believe, since the Greeks were here, the Greeks built the whole site. It might be, but also it might not be. So we just saw these from afar, but just to, I mean, this is tons and tons and tons of stones, perfectly cut, all of the same height, let's say so, or depth, however you want to call it. One after the other, just accumulated here like this. Well, I guess this has been done by archaeologists, so my previous guess that they might not have been done by the junctions over there, that they were not done by archaeologists. It might have been that they did it, but I wouldn't see any sense. And anyway, they even been put into place. Here we have more limestone kind of rock. Over there it's more sandstone. People who did this really had time and resources. That's one thing that's for sure. And resources means that you have a lot of people who can afford not to work for feeding oneself, but just to work for the glory of some king, or for the glory of some god, or just for some other reason I cannot fathom